Hello, Durudin Shalom. How's my audio? We be live. Okay, guys, there's a lot that is happening. Um, where do we even start? So we already have Mojtaba Khamenei. We already talked about this yesterday. Come out and said, I don't know. Well, I mean, him or his institution or whoever is speaking on his behalf. He came out and basically threw Pezeshkian under the bus, President Pezeshkian, saying that I didn't want these negotiations. I didn't want the MOU, but I'm just so great. I listened to the will of the people. Pezeshkian wanted to do this. It wasn't me. It was him. So yeah, blame him. Pezeshkian is the president. He's been chosen by the people, and if he says we need to negotiate, I'm just a humble person that just submits to the will of the people. Completely throwing Pezeshkian under the bus, which is ridiculous. Everybody knows that Pezeshkian has no influence within the Islamic Republic, and he's just a scapegoat for the supreme leader not to take the blame. We already know that. Do you guys want to read the statement before? Should we read the statement? Do you guys want to read the statement? Yeah, let me bring up the statement from Mujtaba. Mujtaba. I mean, allegedly. Okay, okay. Let's take a look at it. Okay. Let's look at this. So this is from allegedly from Mujtaba Khamenei. So he said, "In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful, the passionate and loyal nation of Iran. As you have been informed, a memorandum of understanding was signed between the presidents of Iran and America. In the course of reaching this stage, the officials in charge, out of sincere concern and goodwill, made extensive efforts. And of course, it was the American president who, out of desperation, used all kinds of leverage to bring this about. I, as a matter of principle, okay, look at this, guys, saying, by the way, guys, put your questions in the chat. I will respond to your questions in the chat. Okay, let me make sure I see your questions. All right, saying I, as a matter of principle, held a different view. This is the most important part. This part. This is causing all sorts of chaos within the Islamic Republic. Because yeah, and I think you guys know why. Because this shows that the supreme leader is officially saying that we signed an MOU that I was against. It's saying, however, out of the commitment that he, the esteemed president, as the head of the Supreme National Security Council, gave to me on his own behalf and on behalf of the other members regarding the safeguarding of the rights of the Iranian nation and the resistance front, and his explicit acceptance that responsibility, I granted my permission. That accepted of that responsibility, I granted that permission. He also explicitly stated that if the American side seeks to make excessive demands, they will not submit to them. From this moment on, we, that is you, the proud nation, and this humble servant will await the realization of the aforementioned conditions. However, it is self-evident that the in-person negotiations that will take place in the future will not mean acceptance of the enemy's position. We hope that the blessed prayers of our master, may God hasten his noble reappearance, he's talking about the Mahdi, will bring all kinds of victories and triumphs to the honorable nation of Iran. Peace, mercy, and blessings of God upon you. So, what do you guys think? I have so many thoughts, so many thoughts. This is obviously what I predicted would happen, right? This is exactly what I predicted would happen. They got him to sign the MOU because they don't want to take responsibility among the pro-regime people who thought that this is a mistake. I mean, look at his face. He doesn't look very happy. He obviously does not look very happy. He knows that he's being, sacrificed, right? Okay, every time I show this, I have to. I'm sorry, guys. I have to show this in as well. So this is basically, yeah, this what's happening here is basically this, right? Every single time I have to show that to you, right? But so now that we're all on the same page of what's actually happening, right? So it's actually happening exactly in the order that we told you, right? We predicted that they will fatten up Pezeshkian as a scapegoat, as a sacrifice. And I was actually surprised at the beginning because they told us that Ghalibov is going to go sign it. I'm like, why would Ghalibov do that? He shouldn't. He would be taking the blame. They should send Pezeshkian to do that. And then actually, I realized that yeah, no, I was right. Pezeshkian is going to sign it. And then once Pezeshkian, after this is actually very clear. Once Pezeshkian signs it, after that, the supreme leader will come out and say, "I didn't want this." Because what? Because if he said it before, then the MOU might not happen. So the Supreme Leadership Office realized that they have to allow the MOU to happen because remember we had signs held by pro-regime, anti-deal people in the streets saying like, "What the hell? Like, what the fuck? Look at this sign, right? If the why are we doing an MOU? Remember the sign? These are the pro-regime, anti-deal Iranians in the streets saying that the supreme leader we shouldn't be doing the MOU because there's no comments regarding the MOU from our supreme leader. So this sign that the pro-regime people were holding is saying, I have one question. So these are pro-regime people holding. Why isn't our Lord Sayyid Mojtaba Khamenei, why is it that he came out and commented on Nature Day, he commented on the Chinar tree, which is a type of tree, but he's not saying anything regarding the negotiations. So these are pro-regime people who are saying, yeah, like our supreme leader is not saying it. Like why are we doing the negotiations given that our supreme leader is not endorsing it? Right? He talked about we have a statement from him for about a fucking tree, but not about this. Well, you got your statement of his disapproval after the MOU was already signed, not before, because he wanted the MOU to be signed. He got the statement that I'm not for this after, not before, after. Yeah, Nature Day, Ruza Tabiat. So you have to be impressed with my prediction skills because here, look at this. Because somebody, this person noticed it, right? So this person, because what did I tell you? Let me actually tell you what I told you. I didn't just say Pezeshkian would be sacrificed for this. Remember when they brought back the internet and they said like we did it because of Pezeshkian told us? I predicted that this is the beginning of making Pezeshkian look bigger deal than he actually is, so that when they become more flexible during the negotiations, they could say that yeah, it was him. They were trying to create this false sense that Pezeshkian is actually capable of making differences, right? But I told you guys something beyond that. I told you guys not only that they're going to sacrifice Pezeshkian, I told you exactly what the line is going to be. I told you that they're going to come out and say the reason why the supreme leader is doing this is because he accepts the will of the people. And Pezeshkian has been chosen by the people. So look at this. Let me show you this. We have a post here by this person. This is a pro-regime person. And let's look at the translation. He's saying, why did Mr. Sayyid Mojtaba have a different opinion but still allowed it? So he's asking a question and he's answering it himself. So given that Mojtaba Khamenei was against the MOU, against the negotiations, why did he allow it anyways? And now he answers his own question. He's saying because in the Islamic Republic, the people's vote is, no, it's not just nonsense. Kashknist. is not nonsense. This AI translation is wrong. So this nis means it's not. So you're saying because in the Islamic Republic the people's vote is not nonsense. It means something. The people's vote means something. That's what it says. And it's interesting because this person commented. It says Armin Navabi چند هفته پیش گفته بودی یا دمت گرم. So this person who follows me and listens to me, he says, Armin Navabi, you said this a few weeks ago. Dammit Gam is good job. Like, I saw this line coming from the pro-regime people in defense of the supreme leader, allowing the MOU to happen. I saw this happening. Like, this guy is Iranian, so even Iranians, it's not just the English-speaking world that should recognize that how good my prediction was. Even among Iranian political activists and political commentators, they noticed that I figured that this is going to be the exact line way ahead of time. Right? So this I show you that because I want you guys to know that I know what I'm talking about and it's happening exactly the way I thought it would. Oh, look at this. We got our first super chat, and Beach Kid is saying, I get to be the first. Yes, thank you for getting us started with the super chats. Appreciate that. Let me show you a video. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Guys, let me know if what I'm saying is making sense to you guys or you need another way to explain it, because this is like really deep stuff. Like, we're getting into nuanced inside Islamic Republic political stuff. Let me show you a new video. So this is a woman. Now that the supreme leader brought out his statement against the MOU and against the negotiations, now we see people coming out against Pezeshkian. It's interesting, guys. Blaming Pezeshkian is so obviously an excuse, right? Because before I show you this video, let me tell you something. If you are Mojtaba Khamenei and the current supreme leader of the Islamic Republic, and the MOU is being signed, and pro-regime, anti-deal Iranians are upset about it, and you are worried about your position among them, them remaining loyal to you, them still believing in you, and you think that you agreeing with this MOU is going to reduce your legitimacy, who would you blame? You would blame Ghalibaf, right? Pezeshkian is not doing the negotiations. Pezeshkian is not going out and doing this. Pezeshkian is in support of it, but he's a nobody. Americans are not talking to him. He's not leading the negotiations. So I would say, oh, I listened to Ghalibaf. Okay? Everybody blames Ghalibaf and Arakshi. You know how we know this? Because nobody so far has been saying death to Pezeshkian. Guys, the anti-regime people, they say death to Khamenei, death to hardliners and reformers, death to Mojtaba. Nobody says death to Pezeshkian. So this is the anti-regime people. The pro-regime people who are anti-deal, they say death to Ghalibaf, they say death to Arakshi, they say death to Rouhani, they say death to Zarif. They don't say death to Pezeshkian. Well, not until today. They're going to say it now. From now on, they're going to say it. But why does nobody says death to Pezeshkian? Because he's a nobody. Actually, I think Pezeshkian, somebody saying death to him would actually be a compliment to him, because somebody is actually taking him seriously for once. So that's why people don't say death to Pezeshkian, because they don't care about him. I mean, starting from tonight, they might say death to Pezeshkian because the supreme leader is blaming the MOU on him, right? But this shows that the reason Pezeshkian has been chosen to this is for two reasons. First of all, he has been designed exactly for this. They made him president for a day like this. You have the excuse that he has the vote of the people, so we have to respect him, blah, 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 blah. And then lastly, because he doesn't have power, he could be bullied. They're not blaming Ghalibaf because Ghalibaf actually now has power. So Ghalibov cannot right now be pushed around by the supreme leader because he has a lot of power right now within the Islamic Republic. So the supreme leader is would not be able to throw him under the bus. They have to throw Pezeshkian under the bus because he can't do anything about it. So what are the consequences of that? Here's the consequences of that. Let's listen to what this woman has to say.
ضعف عقلانیت نداشته باشید، برید سراغ رئیس جمهوری که طبق قانون حرف ولی فقیه و امام ما را زیر پا میگذارد.
So he said we should go after the president who, according to our law, is going against our supreme leader and our Wali Faqih, the guardian of the jurist, right? The guardian jurist is going, like, our president is violating the law by going against what the supreme leader is saying, what the supreme leader wants. So these people are pissed. These people are now saying, we told you so. These people are saying, we told you so. We knew the supreme leader was against the MOU, and now it's too late because we already signed the MOU. And now the supreme leader comes out and says, I'm against it. Now we know that the president has gone against the words of the supreme leader.
وای بر شما علمایی
So he's saying, woe be unto you.
که دنبال حکم برای ما بودید، بروید حکم نافرمانی رئیس جمهور و هیئتش را نسبت به امام ما ابتدا در بیاورید.
So it's like, shame on all the ulama, all of the religious leaders who were trying to come up with a sentence against us people, the people who were against the MOU. Like, you, the religious leaders, were trying to sentence us who were against the MOU. Now that now you people who were trying to sentence us, go do a sentence, basically go and get the president. Go get the president. Go and accuse him. Go get him, not us. Because the president has gone against the supreme leader. Yes.
روید حکم نافرمانی رئیس جمهور و
So it's like حکم نافرمانی رئیس جمهور. So the disobedience order. So the president has been disobedient to the supreme leader, so he should be sentenced. These religious leaders should go after him, not us.
هیئتش را نسبت به امام ما ابتدا در بیاورید، بعد دنبال حکم برای ما باشید.
So yeah, he said, don't come after us, go after him, which is amazing. Amazing. So this is the chaos all of this is causing. Oh, thank you, Ali. Thank you for the super sticker. I appreciate that. And then yesterday, let me actually go. Okay. Yesterday, Ali had some really good posts. Let me actually post that he showed us. Let me actually go for people who didn't see them. Let me show them one by one to you guys. Thank you, Ellie. Thank you for the support. Right. So this person is saying the supreme leader is so obviously against the deal. All of the so-called supporters of the regime. How dare you now say that the supreme leader was in agreement? It's so obvious that the supreme leader was against this, right? And then we have another post. Hold on. Copy link. Then we had this one. This is great. I love this one. This person is saying, this person is going against, these are pro-regime people. These are people in IRGC affiliated, IRGC Telegram account. So all of these people are pro-regime. All of these people are pro-IRGC and pro-regime. But this person is commenting against the supreme leader. He's saying that one of the conditions of being a supreme leader is for you to be brave and strong, and a good manager. So if the president has managed to impose his will on the supreme leader, then the supreme leader is not fit to be a supreme leader. If the president has managed to do that, right? And then we have this. So that's a direct attack on the supreme leader, by the way, by pro-regime people, which is crazy. And then we have another one here. Oh, here. So this person was claiming that, okay, guys, we won. Okay, so this person is claiming that they won because they came here to defeat Pahlavi, to bring back Pahlavi. Israel and Pahlavi به اسرائیل و پهلوی قول پیروزی کامل دارن. این نگفتن پیروزی کامل، این لکن پیروزی نگفتن پیروزی کامل چه کسی. Okay, so this person is bragging about the fact that Israel and Pahlavi were not successful. This person is responding to him like, just you wait. And these are all pro-regime people that once they get the enriched uranium out, then they're going to come and destroy us. That's what this comment is saying. So he's basically saying it's not over. Like, don't be happy about this because it's not yet over. And then let me show you a last one. These are just comments by pro-regime people. Oh wait, this one, sorry. Yeah. The top comment was saying that, yeah, they didn't win against us. The comment under it is responding that it's not over yet. They're going to take away our enriched uranium and then they're going to come F us up after. And then let me show you the last comment here from pro-regime people. Oh yeah, so this is actually, let me quickly show you what this person is saying. If you go to our boom boom sheet, if you go to the chart that we have of the Islamic Republic, so you can see that this is the supreme leadership over here. This is the Supreme Security Council. Okay, the Supreme Security Council is supposed to make all of the decisions regarding the security of the country. And it has, you could see, it has many members. Well, I mean, I think 8 members, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 members. And half of them are picked by the supreme leader. Half of these are picked by the supreme leader. One of them is Pezeshkian, right? So one thing you could point out is that how could Pezeshkian had decided the MOU needs to be signed, given that the signing of this MOU should have been approved by the Security Council, and Pezeshkian has only 1 vote. And not only that, half of these people are directly chosen by the supreme leader. So if you go over here, this person who's pro-regime is speaking against the supreme leader without actually directly saying anything against the supreme leader. So what he's saying is that if you pay attention, the different members of the supreme to the Security Council over here, right? He's saying if you pay attention, half of them are picked by the supreme leader, and the only one person within the Supreme Security Council voted against the MOU, and the president has only 1 vote. So basically, he's saying, without directly saying it, how could the supreme leader blame Pezeshkian for signing the MOU, given that almost everybody in this Supreme Security Council voted for the MOU, and Pezeshkian has only 1 vote, and the supreme leader has half of the votes. You could see, you see how he has a point, right? Guys, again, let me tell you, what I just told you is more advanced understanding of the Islamic Republic and what's happening on the streets, in the regime, and the internal politics between different segments, more than anybody is explaining anywhere else. And I'm not exaggerating that, because I am looking at everywhere else. Like, nobody's going into this level of detail with you guys. But let me see in the chat. Can you guys tell me if this is too much detail and if it's too hard to follow? Ellie, thank you so much for the super chat saying Hormuz is closed again. Talks in Switzerland have been cancelled, and Israel and Hezbollah had committed to ceasefire, but Hezbollah broke it by sending drones not long ago. Yeah, so let's actually get back to the MOU now, and also what's happening in Israel, and and the attacks, the continuous attacks on Israel. And by the way, Ellie, thank you so much for the super chat. So a lot of people are saying the MOU is over before it even got started. It didn't last long. But some people are saying, look, don't speak too soon because we had a ceasefire that was nothing like a ceasefire. So this MOU might hold, even though I don't know, Israel and Hezbollah could keep shooting at each other, and I don't know, we'll see. But I mean, everything, just like the ceasefire was being violated left and right, and they still stuck by calling it a ceasefire. I'm wondering if it's going to be the same thing with the MOU. The thing is that it's really like the Islamic Republic has officially said we're going to pause arguing regarding the MOU until Israel stops attacking Hezbollah. Which, guys, 4 Israeli soldiers died. 4 Israeli soldiers died, and we put so much pressure on Israel to come announce a ceasefire after 4 Israeli soldiers were killed. This is insane. Israel, like, I don't know if this has ever happened in Israel's history. For Israel to come announce a ceasefire after 4 of their soldiers were killed. And now we're hearing that Hezbollah is back at, like, Hezbollah is attacking again, and are we going to continue expecting Israel not to respond? Like, we're getting to like I don't know, this is lunacy. Like, honestly, anybody asking Israel to hold back right now, especially after 4 of their soldiers died, should just, there's no defending it. There's no defending it. There's absolutely no defending it. Oh, Eli followed up by saying, Armin, 2 factions of the IRGC are competing, and I suspect one pushed Hezbollah to attack Israel to make it a deal for him. So that's what I said as well. So there are many parts of the IRGC that now have submitted to Ghalibaf, because Ghalibaf has the upper hand, and he has the American military power to threaten the parts of IRGC that don't submit to him. But obviously, the control would not be complete, and there will always be people within IRGC left that will not submit to Ghalibaf and would want to push for any activity that would jeopardize the MOU and the negotiations and any ceasefire to take place, right? So Ghalibaf has a challenging task given to him by the Americans, and if he fails, they might kill him, is to basically get everybody within the Islamic Republic to submit. I think the Americans have taken Ghalibaf hostage, and Ghalibaf understands that the Americans might kill him unless he manages to control the supreme leadership, the Paidari camp, and the IRGC camp. And honestly, Ghalibaf had made huge progress on that front, given that the supreme leader gave him his full endorsement. And even when it came to throwing somebody under the bus, they didn't throw Ghalibaf under the bus, they threw Pezeshkian under the bus. To me, that shows that the supreme leadership has bent the knee to Ghalibaf, at least for now. We had so many of the most important IRGC commanders that bent the knee to Ghalibaf. We had Ghani, Musavi, Abdullahi came out and one by one endorsed the negotiations. But we didn't see Vahidi either, because he doesn't like this, or maybe he's dead. I don't know. But we see Hezbollah sometimes coming out and say, like, yeah, MOU is great, and then the other time coming out and attacking Israel, which shows that Hezbollah itself is also fragmented. And I think IRGC is not a monolith, but Hezbollah is not a monolith either. And I think that there are certain people within Hezbollah that take orders from some segments of IRGC and other parts of Hezbollah take orders from other segments of the IRGC. So take that into account as well. So there might be some internal conflict happening within Hezbollah as well regarding whether we should support the MOU or like figure out a way to, stop it from going forward. Again, depends on who within the IRGC is supporting who within Hezbollah. But whatever happens, Israel should respond aggressively to any attacks on its civilians and its soldiers. I mean, if you do not protect your soldiers by advertising your deterrence capability, once somebody kills your soldiers, that's a disservice by a state to the men and women who are risking their lives to protect your nation. If they get killed and then you don't come and respond 10 times with 10 times the force that they came at you, you're putting the lives of other soldiers within your army at risk because you're advertising to your enemy that you could kill my soldiers and I won't respond. If Hezbollah kills Israeli soldiers and Israel doesn't respond aggressively, Israel is telling Hezbollah that there's very little consequences to you killing my soldiers, and that is going to put other Israeli soldiers at risk. These are the men and women that are on the front lines protecting a nation, and if Israel doesn't respond strongly back, you're putting the people who are risking their lives to protect your nation at risk. It's a shame. It's a shame that this expectation even exists for Israel to hold back right now for the sake of a agreement that they were not even a signatory to. Okay, let's go to the next super chat. Shauna with a super chat saying the detail is exceptional as usual. I mean, well, thank you, Shauna. I really appreciate that you saying that. I really appreciate you saying that. It makes me feel like, because sometimes I feel like it's so much detail that I'm not going to be able to get an audience when I go to internal Iranian politics. I feel like, I wouldn't be able to grow this channel because I'm getting too nuanced and people are going to come and going to be like, I don't understand what's happening. This is too detailed. And then they're going to leave. So you guys telling me that you appreciate this makes me want to continue. Because I don't see it anywhere else, Thank you, Shona. And Shona with another super chat saying, this MOU feels very Vance coded. I think the ISOCOCs have taken over the house. So this is how I see it. I think there is not, it's not a fake fight. Okay. I think there is a real fight between Bibi and President Trump. And the reason why I think it's real is because you just have to look at the actual interests that they have. I mean, it's completely, I completely understand it that once they get their interests mutually aligned again on something else, President Trump will come out. So we will have both of these. We're going to have statements from President Trump that goes against Bibi, and then the day after, we're going to have full endorsement and complete agreement and complete support. And then the day after, another statement that will be against Bibi, right? The reason is because we have United States and President Trump and Bibi have a lot of mutually aligned interests, but they also have interests that are not aligned. So that's why you're going to see a lot of support and a lot of fighting at the same time, because the support will be based on every time that they're focusing on their aligned interests, they're going to keep coming out and celebrate each other. And sometimes the parts where their interests are not aligned, we're going to see them, I mean, Bibi doesn't say anything against President Trump, but President Trump will come out and say something against Bibi. And I think the parts that right now their interests diverge right now, that is not aligning right now, is the two upcoming elections in Israel and United States. This is why I think a lot of it is not fake. Some of it might be exaggerated and fake, but I think a lot of it is not fake because it just makes sense. It makes sense because Bibi, Prime Minister Netanyahu, is dealing with the October elections that are coming up in Israel, and President Trump is dealing with the November midterm elections that are coming up in the US. And if you think about it, what you need to do in response to both of them is the opposite. And Prime Minister Netanyahu is now dealing with an Israeli voter base that are extremely angry that Hezbollah gets to attack them and they don't get to respond the way that they want to, that they're limited in the response. And then, America seems to have control over Bibi, and he has to hold back in response to a Hezbollah attack because President Trump wants an MOU. So, right now, as we speak, and things could change, things don't look good at all for Prime Minister Netanyahu in elections. It doesn't look good at all. So, people might say like there's a 5D chess plan here, but what 5D chess? The elections are right around the corner, and you could see Netanyahu's popularity in Israel going lower and lower and lower, and this is not helping at all. So if you're Bibi, your motivation would be to just show max aggression towards Hezbollah and not hold back, but you're also worried about ruining your relationship with the United States, which also so think about it. You're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place, because because if you ruin your relationship with the United States, your opposition will come out and say like, oh, you ruined our relationship with the United States. But if you don't show maximum aggression to Hezbollah, people are going to be like, oh, you're a puppet of Trump, and under your leadership, Israel has lost its independence, right? So if you damn if you do, damn if you don't. If you hold back, then to save your relationship with Trump, people are going to be like, your opposition will accuse you of being a puppet to the Americans and weak against our enemies. But if you show max aggression towards Hezbollah and the Islamic Republic, people are going to be like, under your leadership, our relationship with the United States is being ruined, right? So Bibi needs to show that he's not going to hold back against Israel's enemies, while also try to not speak ill of President Trump, so not to ruin the relationship with, President Trump, right? And that's a hard thing to do. But from President Trump's interest and the upcoming November elections, what he has to do is he needs to get prices down. He needs to get oil prices down. He needs to get gas prices down. And that requires, the Strait of Hormuz to be open. And that requires less tension, at least right now, around the Middle East and around the Persian Gulf. And the MOU, he also needs an MOU that Ghalibaf could use as a way to control everybody within the Islamic Republic. So President Trump has very effectively taken Ghalibaf hostage as his bitch, and he has managed to make him go around with American military power, get the supreme leader and the Paidari camp and the IRGC, at least a huge segment of them, to bend the knee to Ghalibaf, and Ghalibaf is just America's bitch right now because he doesn't want to die. Because Ghalibaf knows if you go back to kinetic military operations, his ass is on the line, right? So he wants this MOU to work so that we have some, because from America's perspective, if I could use Ghalibaf to get a lot from the Islamic Republic when I cannot get from them from using military operation, this is such a much more efficient way of getting things done than military operations. This is fantastic. I have an insider within the regime that is selling the rest of the regime out. So stock market is reaching record high. Oil prices are down, which is going to help with inflation, and the job market is doing beautifully. So, Trump is saying I'm doing whatever I can before the midterms to have the upper hand for the midterms. I mean, I'm not saying the midterms are going to be pretty, but he's doing everything. He has all the when it comes to inflation, job market, and the stock market, everything shows that Trump is doing things right when it comes to America. For what's best for America, President Trump is demonstrating that everything is on the right track, and he doesn't want to get off that track. right? So you can see that their interests do not align. But it's also important to understand that both of them are doing what's logical for their voter base. But again, the thing is that even though both of them are doing what's logical for their voter base, we people who are fighting for liberty, we understand that this is doing a lot of damage to Israel's standing in the United States and the world. And we also understand that Israel's strength is the world's strength. Supporting Israel is supporting the world, because Israel is the wall between many evil people, many evil, terrorists, and the rest of the world. Israel is not just protecting Israel. Israel, by protecting Israel, is protecting the whole world. So this damage to Israel, we need to respond to that, and we need to come out in full force in defending Israel, because Israel is losing the narrative war right now. And the narrative war is the good thing about the narrative war is that all of us could be soldiers in there. Like every single one of us could participate in that battlefield. And Israel is losing that battle, and it's up to all of us to come and be active in this battlefield in defense of Israel right now. Because the narrative war is important. It's not just about the battlefield, the military operations. The narrative war is about the soft power of a nation and of a nation state, right? And the soft power of a nation state is everything. Is very important, because you might have a lot of military capital, but if you don't have political capital, then you don't get to use your military capital. Okay, well, thank you guys for all the super chats. We already had our goals, so let me go through these. Let me know if everything I'm saying is making sense. And so Armin's army was born. Yeah, we need to make that a thing. Thank you so much. You guys are so sweet. I love you. Guys, I know when I say I love you guys, I know it sounds cringe, and people just say that to their group and their community and their audience. And I was thinking by myself, like, I really do mean it. Like, I really I look forward to coming and talking to you guys. I genuinely do love you guys. So I know it's cringe to say, but it is true. Okay. Fleshy Interloper, thank you so much, saying take my money, damn it. Okay. Wait, does YouTube censor that? Did you have to start damn it? Really? That's, oh my god, YouTube is aggressive with the censorship. Yeah, Tora is saying, wow, so cringe. Cringe. I know. I'm sorry. Okay, but somebody, okay. Milady MK. Oh, I know you're yeah, I know you. You have some great contributions in our discussion group, saying we love you too. Oh, thank you for that. That's oh, that's it. Why is it cringe? I don't know. Some people think it's too lovey-dovey. Okay. I'll cut it out. I'm sorry. Carolyn, thank you so much for the super chat, saying Iran has closed Hormuz again. Yeah, I know. Everybody is like sending that to me. Yeah, it didn't. I mean, I want to say, wow, it didn't last long, but maybe 2 hours from now, President Trump is going to post something saying that this is fine. So we have to see that. Let me see. We have some statements from President Trump that I want to play. Let me quickly, before I go to now that you mentioned that, let me look at thank you so much, Carolyn. Let's see 2 statements from President Trump.
Put the limits on your power as a result of the conflict.
There are no limits.
No limit.
No, not. I haven't learned that lesson yet. I know there are, but there are no limits. We defeated them totally militarily.
You had talked about you only wanted unconditional surrender, and
well,
the MOU doesn't look like unconditional surrender.
Well, it really probably is unconditional surrender.
It is.
I think so.
But well,
no, the MOU is not an unconditional surrender. I mean, the deal, if we do get a deal, would be unconditional surrender if we keep the red lines, but not the MOU. So here's the part that I don't like. Okay, let's listen to this part and tell me, guys, what you guys think about this, right? Texas Troop, you also, I want to see what you guys think about it because I didn't like this at all. Look at this. Let's listen to this part.
Your relationship with Netanyahu's
It's good, but we have to keep him a little bit sane.
your relationship.
What do you guys think about this? Let me play this again. I do not like this one bit. He's just basically saying Bibi is insane. So he's I like him. We have a good relationship, but he needs to be controlled. He needs to be controlled. He's missing. You guys, let me. This is not that. Yeah, again, that is not respectable. I don't know what the. Okay, so play it again. Yeah, okay.
Your relationship with Netanyahu's
It's good, but we have to keep him a little bit sane.
your relationship with Netanyahu's
Yeah. So I don't know what context would make this better, but I don't know. It's not good. These are whatever longer term plan, 5D chess plan any of this could have, this is going to do damage to Israel's standing. Like that clip is forever going to be used as confirmation that even a Republican president thinks Netanyahu is insane. So Texas Troop, what do you think about this? There was another part where he said that Israel. Oh, here's another one. So look at this. This is really bad for the upcoming elections in Israel. Let me see this part. Yeah, so Dajjal is saying again, maybe it's just a game, in which case, fine. But if it's not, it's just pathetic. If, I must emphasize if. So here's the thing, Dajjal, even if it's a game, this is going to do a lot of damage to Israel, even if it is a game, especially right before their elections. So let me listen to this part. And
are you going to be able to control?
Yep, Texas Trip. That's why. Yeah, I know you're saying I prefer to listen to the whole thing, and I'm gonna play the whole thing on the in the next segment, on Iran Revolution Live. But the thing is that whatever the context of this is, these clips will do a lot of damage. These clips will do a lot of damage, and we will go through the whole thing. I promise we'll go through the whole thing. And somebody's saying, why is he on Axis? That's another good question. And the judge saying, true, Armin, you are correct. These are definitely cause events. Yeah, I mean, guys, the biggest damage to Israel right now is to hurt Americans' opinions about Israel. So Americans' opinion about Israel is not good right now, and it's getting worse. And the only place that it was somewhat okay was among Republicans, and many Republicans are MAGA, and MAGA cares about what Trump says. So if Trump is coming out and saying Prime Minister Netanyahu is flattening entire buildings for the sake of one terrorist, and he shouldn't do that. If he comes out and says that Israel is not doing a good job against Hezbollah, and Jolani, and Al Qaeda, ISIS, Al Shara would do a better job than Netanyahu. And then if he comes out and says that Prime Minister Netanyahu we need to keep him sane. So just saying that he's insane if we don't control him. And now here saying that Prime Minister Netanyahu is completely look at this. We can control him. Listen to this part.
Are you going to be able to control Israel from attacking Lebanon?
Yeah,
Eh,
I will be. I
How?
mean, I wonder. They have a lot of respect for me, and they do as I say.
So, guys, there is absolutely no context, in my opinion, that makes this okay. If somebody asks you, are you going to be able to control Israel? The response should be, Israel is an independent nation state. We do not control Israel. There is no other answer that should be accepted. Can you control Israel? You have to say, we do not control Israel. Israel is an independent nation state. We have mutually aligned interests. And whenever we have mutually aligned interests, we work with each other. So listen to this part again. Do you agree with this part? That this is not a good answer?
Are you going to be able to control Israel from attacking Lebanon?
Yeah,
Eh,
I will be. I
How?
mean, I wonder. They have a lot of respect for me, and they do as I say.
I mean, right now in Israel, the respect for President Trump is lowering, right? I mean, think about the Israelis hearing this. The Israelis' accusation against Prime Minister Netanyahu was that Trump is controlling Israel and you're letting him. And now President Trump officially is saying that, yeah, I control Israel. This is not good. This is not good. Yeah, and Israelis in the chat are saying they don't have respect for him. I don't know. I don't think there is any way to defend this. Anyways, let me go through your super chats. But if there is, let me know. I mean, again, I'm pretty sure here's what will happen. President Trump and Prime Minister Netanyahu are going to get aligned again. Okay. And President Trump is going to come out and make a comment that we are completely backing Israel. We're going to protect them. I love BB. We're in it all the way. All Israel always has Israel. United States always has Israel's back. And then people are going to come to me and say, Armin, see, you were wrong. That was just a show. And see, now President Trump is confirming that they fully back Israel and he loves Bibi. But when that happens, remember that I also predicted that he's going to go back to saying that at some point, right? We're going to have both of these, right? Because there will be times where what needs to be done is completely aligned. And in those times, President Trump is going to come and say really positive things about Israel and whoever the prime minister of Israel is at the time. And then there's going to be times where what they want is not aligned. And in those times, you're going to get comments like this. So if that happens, people are going to be like, Armin, see, this was 5D chess and you were wrong. Even I'm not saying this is not 5D chess. I don't know. But even if it's 5D chess, the president of the United States just came out and said the prime minister of Israel is insane and that the United States controls Israel. And this will have long-lasting effects. So if this is 5D chess, I hope whatever benefits that comes out of this master plan that they have is huge, because the cost right now is huge. So I hope the benefits are like 10 times as much, because this is not good. So Texas Trooper saying this is on Axios and being said to pander to the woke right. This is Vance speaking. This is for Arab audiences. Yeah, I mean, yeah, and it's doing damage to Israel, and all of that is true, and plus it's doing damage to Israel's soft power. So let me go through the super chats. BT, by the way, I'm not saying it doesn't make sense, because it might make sense for what President Trump needs to do right now for his own internal politics. But whether or not it makes sense or not for whatever President Trump's agenda is right now, we as pro-Israelis need to come and defend Israel, 10 times as much more than before. BT, thank you so much, saying flower fund for Armin's beautiful wife. Well, thank. Okay. You know what, BT? I promise that I will get her more flowers. Okay, I promise. Thank you, BT. And Fleshy Interloper saying, blockade the strait. Yeah, blockade the. Yes, we need to go. If the reports are true right now that the Strait of Hormuz is closed again, then in that case we need to go. The blockade needs to be back on the on Iranian ports. Let me actually see. Breaking news. Do we have updates on the? So Naim Qassem, the head of Hezbollah, said that they're going to continue fighting. Okay, so we need to. I need to get better confirmation regarding what's actually happening in the Strait of Hormuz, but I'm pretty sure I'll have it by the next segment. Anyways, let's go back to the super chats. Thank you, by the way, Flesh Interloper. Carol is saying Hormuz is just now closed again. Yeah, I'm hearing that. So let me tell you guys, if the Strait of Hormuz is closed again and the Americans do not put the blockade on, this is not good. Do you guys agree with me with me on that? If the Strait of Hormuz is closed, the blockade should go back on. If the Strait of Hormuz gets closed and President Trump doesn't put that back the blockade, this is going to look like an absolute capitulation to the Islamic Republic. It's not going to look good. So Texas Trip is saying, I'm not defending this. I think this is a huge mistake. This is what Nixon warned against. POTUS is in danger of being remembered like Carter. Texas Trip, I really appreciate the fact that you are pro-Trump and you're at the same time you're independently, objectively analyze everything, regardless of your leanings. That's something that most people cannot do. This is why I really respect your opinion. And thank you so much, Carolyn, for the super chat. And Shauna is saying Marcus Rubius for America's president. For America's El Presidente. Okay. Sorry, I can't read that properly. Okay. Yeah. I think almost everybody here agrees on that. I think almost everybody here would love that to happen. Most people here, yeah. Iranians, Israelis would love that, but we don't get a vote. And Shana with another super chat saying Trump base loves Israel more than cheap oil, even if we really, really want cheap oil. Really? Do we have data that shows that? I would love to see the data on that. We also have to consider the difference between what people say they care about when they are talking about politics and what they actually care about when it comes to their daily lives, right? Many people talk politics for passing time, but then when it comes to voting, it goes back to affordability. And thank you, Shana, for the super chat. Hermes with the super chat saying, Ashikatam since AR Facebook back in 2010. Oh my God. Wow. You've been following us since then? Yes, our Facebook page had 2,500,000 followers. 2.5 million followers, and Facebook took it away because of our anti-Islamic content. Well, thank you for being with us for all this time. Wow, 16 years you've been following us. I'm saying I love you. Madam Ashagatam, I love you too. You know, we need to bring our Facebook page back at one point. And John with a super chat saying, is an investigative reporter okay, I think as an investigative reporter slash US national security and analyst in LA, I stand with fellow independent press, Free Iran, Am Israel Chai, and USA 250. Yes, thank you. Here, let me actually. Thank you. Yes, I think our countries have so many mutually aligned interests, and the more people recognize that, the better it's going to be for the world. And I think it's our job to communicate that, guys. One thing that people underestimate when it comes to having political effect is the impact that you could have on the voter base. Too many people think that the only way to do things is to try to get I don't know, President Trump changed his opinion, but you get politicians to change their opinion based on after you change the opinions of the people who vote for them. So if you want to target the base, and then you get the politicians. So we need to communicate to more Americans why a stronger Israel is in the benefit of Americans, and why a free Iran is in the benefit of Americans. That's what we need to communicate. And Jagataik, thank you so much for the super chat, saying Occam's razor favors there being no 5D chess, sadly. So yeah, I mean, it could the 5D chess could be there, but I think people exaggerate it. Okay, so it could. So some people are saying that this is absolute complete conflict between BB and Trump, and there is no 5D chess. And some people are saying they're completely aligned, and this is all 5D chess. I think this is more of a spectrum rather than binary. I think, and where on the spectrum this is hard to guess. But even, for example, if there is some lack of alignment of interest, it is true that both politicians are going to take advantage of. So, for example, maybe not 5D chess, maybe just 2D chess, as in that Prime Minister Netanyahu will try to show that he is going to do what is best for Israel, regardless of what President Trump says. And President Trump is going to take this as an advantage to show that to the isolationist parts of its voter base that Israel does not control us, and that I have a lot of power in the Middle East, and also oil prices are coming down, right? So I think it's a spectrum, and it's really hard to tell exactly where on the spectrum this is. But some of the fight, I think, is real. And thank you for the super chat. Oh, somebody's saying, well said, Armin. Well, thank you. And then we get another super chat from Ellie. Thank you, Ellie, saying Trump approval rate went from 60% to 30% in the two last weeks. And statements like this, along with Vance missteps, are the reason they need to work on their PR. So Ellie, what if the causal relationship is the other way around? What if it's not statements like this that made them go from 60% to 30%? What if going from 60% to 30% has made Trump change his behavior into de-escalating the war, bringing oil prices down, and giving into the part of MAGA that might think that the part of the isocox, not MAGA, the part of the isocox that think that Israel is controlling the United States? What if it's the other way around? What if is the panic from that drop is causing the change in behavior. So you're saying, so people are saying, so I'm not saying that's somebody's saying, let me see. Saying, Armin, it's not after his statement that went down, not the other way around. After these statements are recent, you're saying we had such a big drop in like 1 or 2 days? Because I think a drop from 60 to 30 takes a longer time. Like you don't get like a 50% drop in just with one statement. Let me see what Texas Troop is saying. Saying, Armin, there is rising chatter against Trump for not doing what needs to be done in Iran and throwing BBE under the bus. Yeah, but the chatter, we see that chatter because we hang out with those people, right? But how much of that chatter? I'm not saying you're wrong, by the way. I'm just wondering how much of that chatter reflects what the drop in approval rating is coming. Because guys, we are around and we consume content for people who are pro-Israel, so we're going to be exposed to that chatter more than other people. But to see how much of the drop in popularity of Trump is responsible is because of this, we need statistical data. And yeah. So Texas saying, no, I watch everything. Okay, well then you're going to see all the chatter. But what we need to, these things need to be, to come up with a conclusion, we need like a statistical analysis. Because just looking at what people are saying, what might give us a misunderstanding of what's influencing what. But you might be right. I'm not saying you're wrong. So let's look out for that. Let's keep looking at waiting for some data. And guys, also when you're looking at data, please understand that correlation is not causation. So we need scientifically collected data, and that scientifically collected data needs to be analyzed by people who could show that correlation is not just correlation but also causation by removing and isolating, removing all other external factors and isolating everything to show the causality between two things that are correlated. This is why we have to be careful with our conclusions here. But again, I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just going to see if there's anything that will show that. But it is 100% true that among us people who know how important Israel is, that these statements will have these impact on us. So I'm interested to see how much of an impact this has on other pro-Trump Americans. So let's go to the next super chat. Sarah, thank you so much. Saying that was not a diplomatic answer at all regarding Bibi. Yeah. Can you control Israel? The first word coming out of President Trump's mouth being yes is not a good answer. Like, Israel is an independent nation state. Why should it be controlled by America? And think about how this is going to be heard in Israel. Before the statement, the accusation against Bibi in Israel is that you're letting Trump control you. And now President Trump is coming out and saying, yes, we're controlling Israel. So the people, the opposition against Bibi in Israel say, like, do we need to say anything more? Like, they're saying it. And then John, thank you so much for the super chat, saying too many of my countrymen have too much bitterness. Well, I mean, that could be. I mean, that's true for every country, to be honest. I mean, isn't that true for every, too much bitterness exists? I mean, is there any amount of bitterness that is a good amount? I don't know. Yeah, but thank you for the super chat. And Robert, number one, first honorary Iranian. Thank you so much for the super chat saying, Armin, you must serve in the Shah's government. But then I don't get to hang out with you guys if I do, if I do that. I love what I'm doing right now. I don't want to change it. I want to be, guys. If I get any other job, then I don't get to hang out with you guys because I'm gonna be busy with doing that. I want to be here with you guys and talk to you guys. Right? Isn't this great? We have a great thing going on here. And thank you, Robert. But thank you for the vote of confidence. And then we have Shauna with a super chat. So, Shauna saying, my data is Texas troops. Yeah. Texas troops, look at this. Yeah, you're so respected in the chat that you became a source of information for people. Okay. Yes. You know, I should use that in the like people are gonna say like, oh, this is what Fox News said, this is what Axios said. I'm gonna be like, well, this is what Texas troops said. So, so there you go. I win. Let me see. Star some of this. Okay, let's go to the next super chat. And John is saying, thank you, John, saying there's a positive aspect to Trump's statement. Okay, let's hear it. It refused the constant, nasty, anti-Semitic propaganda that Israel controls the USA. 3D rhetoric. So, John, let me tell you something. I follow the Jew haters and the isocucks and their content. You know what they're saying? I mean, they never come out and say like, oh, wow, we were wrong. Apparently, Israel is not controlling the United States. You know what they're saying? They're saying, finally, somebody is pushing back over the Israeli control of the United States. So they're not going to, none of these fuckers are going to come out and say like, oh, apparently we were wrong. Okay. They're coming out and saying that, yeah, Israel does control the United States. And this, they're going to actually say that this shows that we were right to keep pushing for this because now Trump is submitting to our will. So they're going to see this as a win and a confirmation of everything they have said. They're not going to come out and say, like, guys, we were wrong. Apparently, Israel does not control Israel does not control the United States. They're going to say, guys, see, if you keep pushing against Israel's control of the United States, eventually, the president of the country will give in. This is the success of the anti-Israeli activism. So more of you should jump on our side because we have shown the Groip, like Nick Fuentes will come and say, look at this. This is the impact of the Groiper army. We become too powerful to ignore. Like the isocox, basically, that's what we call them. We're growing so much in size. So many Americans are waking up and becoming anti-Israeli that the president has to give in and push back against Israel. And this is the demonstration of our power. That's their narrative here. That's what they're going with. And people are buying into it. They're like, holy shit, look at this. People, the anti-Israeli people, they're going to say like, holy shit, look, President Trump was so much giving into whatever Israel wanted. And he was doing whatever. They took us into a war that was like Bibi's wish. And we did that for them. But now he's going against them. What happened? What changed? Oh, it's our movement growing. Nick Fuentes was right. We should join him. All hope is not lost. We should keep getting more active politically against Israel because they're giving in to our demands. They're submitting to us. See how that works? Oh, Texas Trooper saying, Armin, the U.S. military community are very, very unhappy with Trump about the MOU. That's good to know. Interesting. And then we got another super chat from Shauna. Thank you, Shauna, saying, according to James Lindsay, the terminally online isococs are overrepresented in Washington. So he thinks that the White House is getting bad info. Interesting. Good to know that. How does where how did he what is his date? Where does he get that data? But I mean, this is so believable. Like, I'm not saying that this is so believable, especially now. I think like what happens here's what happens in Washington D.C. You have your different periods of other people having the upper hand, right? So I think right before Operation Epic Fury, the isococs were being sidelined by President Trump because President Trump was being annoyed by them because they were too much. The isococs started annoying President Trump because of the Epstein files. It started with the Epstein files, right? And I think that annoyed President Trump. It's interesting. The same anti-Israeli people were the same people who were very, very aggressive regarding the Epstein files because of the Epstein files had a lot of correlation with anti-Jewish tropes. And a lot of the people who were obsessed with the Epstein files, they were obsessed with it because it was their greatest dream come true, having a Jewish man that they accused of being an Israeli spy, having from behind the scenes controlling American politicians and rich people. And also at the same time, children are involved. Like, think about it. Like, Epstein files had all the anti-Jewish tropes in one. Rich, evil, powerful Jewish man controlling other politicians with his sneaky ways, and also child sacrifice and all that crap, right? It had everything. So this is why the anti-Israelis were very obsessed with the Epstein files, and a lot of accusations were coming at President Trump because of it at the same time. And that made President Trump move away from these isolationists, anti-Israeli people. And that was the era of, Rubio and Lindsay, and people like that, right? And Ted Cruz and Mark Levin, right? But then we're getting to the era of like now, because the military operations against the Islamic Republic did not produce like a quick result, and we moved from a sprint strategy to a marathon strategy, and the effects that might have had on the voter base, then the JD Vances of the world are now having their influence is now growing, right? I mean, it could visibly be seen. We had a period of time that JD Vance was not anywhere to be seen. Like, he didn't come out, and we weren't hearing from him. But Marco Rubio was everywhere. And now it's basically turning to the opposite. Now we see JD Vance speaking a lot, and Marco Rubio is not speaking as much. I mean, you could, by just seeing who's being given a platform more, you could tell who's having the upper hand. So I think what you're saying about James Lindsay is now is more true now compared to just a few months ago. And we got more super chats here. Siva, thank you so much for the super chat, saying, what does Durka Durka mean? Might have spelled it wrong. So Durka Durka comes from this movie. So just search for Durka Durka. So Durka, we basically, if Team America World Police has a scene in there where the guy is in a disguise trying to act like a jihadi, and to be able to talk to them, he just says Durka, Allahu Akbar, Muhammad. I don't know, shit like that. Yeah, and it's written like this. So yeah, so now we joke whenever we want to say somebody is like Islamic jihadi minded, like full on Islamic, full on jihadi mindset, we say Durka. Just search for this Durka, and then the clip is a 2-minute clip. If I show it, I'm gonna get a copyright strike. If you just search for Durka, the scene will come on YouTube. Yeah. Search for, go on YouTube, search for Durka, Durka, and that scene will show up. It's just our way of referring to people who are just like full on jihadists. Okay, let's go to the next. Should I show it? Maybe I should just show it. Screw it, if YouTube wants to do it. You guys want to see it? Let me know in the chat. You guys want to see it? World Police. Okay, let me know. I'll go through the super chats, and if I see a lot of people saying yes, show it, I'll just show it. Even if we get a copyright strike, it's fine. Hell yeah? No? Yes? No? Please, someone saying no. Okay. Let me go through the yes. Oh. Okay, let me just read the super chats and then we'll show it. Okay, people are saying yes, please. Okay, there's too much demand for this. Let's show it right away. It's only 2 minutes. We'll show it, and then we'll go to the rest of the super chats.
Durka Allah, Muhammad Jihad. Bagala, Muhammad Jihad. Bagala, Muhammad Jihad, Allah, Durka, Muhammad Jihad, Muhammad Jihad.
Oh, shit. Come on, Gary. Act. You have the power.
Bak, Durk Allah. Durka, Muhammad Jihad. Haka Sherpa, Bagala. Oh, Durka.
All right, Gary!
Told you he was Top Gun.
I've never seen acting that good.
He's amazing.
Anyways, the rest is not relevant. Okay. So that was Durka Allah. Yes, guys, as somebody who studied Islam for many, many years, that was like very good acting. Okay, that was pretty good. Like, I couldn't tell the difference between him and the jihadists. Okay. There we go. That was that. All right, so we got the wait here. I removed that. Let me just remove all of these stars. John is saying not the Nazis, not the persuaded. It's the undecided. Okay, not the Nazis. It's the undecided. Okay, so you're saying it's the undecided vote that is pressuring them. That's what I was thinking as well, if I'm understanding what you're saying correctly. I think that, and I think, guys, so there seems to be disagreement that we have here. There's two things that we are saying is having there's two category of influence of President Trump, and some of you are saying it's the isocox, who are, so there's three. Okay, so there's three. So why is President Trump changing his behavior? There are three things. There are three factors here. Is it the isocox and the anti-Israelis giving President Trump bad information? That's one. Two, is it because of President Trump's recent behavior against Israel that is turning his base against them? That's 2. 3, is it the inflation and the cost of living that has an economic concern that is turning the independent, like less politically minded people against President Trump for just their because of their standard, the challenges to their standard of living? These are the 3 factors that we have considered here so far, and I think it could be all 3 of them, right? I think Trump might have lost the isocox, and now he might be trying to gain some of them back, but instead of gaining them back, he might be losing some of the pro-Israeli people even more. And this could be on top of the people who are upset because of the increased cost of living. Well, thank you, Mama, saying we applaud and appreciate the detail you provide us. Well, thank you. So it's not a matter of which one, it's a matter of how much is each one of these influencing it. So it's not either or. Let me know if you agree with that. And then BT with a super chat saying, Shabbat Shalom, all of my people. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Guys, every time I hear Shabbat Shalom, I remember I was in Jerusalem and it was Shabbat. And there was this very Jewish guy with like I think it was actually a rabbi. Yeah, there was this rabbi in the streets. He was going around and shouting, Shabbat Shalom. And we were like, me and my crew were alone in the middle of the night and it was really quiet. This guy was shouting Shabbat Shalom, and I responded Shabbat Shalom, and he just said Shabbat Shalom, and I just go back to he was shouting Shabbat Shalom in the middle of the night in very close to the Wailing Wall, and it was like very few people there, and his voice was spread echoing, like it was quiet, and he was shouting Shabbat Shalom, and we responded Shabbat Shalom. And I don't know, it was like I connected with him. This is a rabbi there, and he was just saying Shabbat Shalom, and we responded to him. And I'm like, look at this! I came from Iran, I'm now in Jerusalem, in Israel, and there's this rabbi shouting Shabbat Shalom, and I'm saying Shabbat Shalom back to him, and we're connecting here. And he doesn't know who I am and where I come from. But he's at the distance and in this quiet night shouting Shabbat Shalom, and I'm responding to him and responding back to me, and I felt like I had a connection with this person who doesn't know me and I don't know him, and it seems like it was so. I come from Iran and he's a rabbi in Israel, and what are the odds of that in the middle of the night he's shouting Shabbat Shalom, and this person that came from Iran happens to be here and is responding to it. I don't know. It was just I wish he knew how profound that moment was for me, and I don't know if it was for him, but I think we had a moment there. I had this atheist Iranian next to the Wailing Wall shouting Shabbat Shalom back at this Israeli rabbi. It was nice. I don't know. It was pretty nice. Okay. Right. He's Israeli, Jewish, a rabbi. I'm Iranian, an atheist, and I happen to be in Jerusalem. And we're bonding. We're bonding from a distance, from a distance. Okay. Anyways. Oh shit! I need to go soon. Okay, we have John saying Epstein was a front from the Vatican for the Vatican cult. Oh my god! Well, I don't know if they were a front for them, but they did distract from the fact that everything they accused, President Trump and other people of was what the Vatican has already been doing for many, many years. And thank you for the super chat. By the way, I think that I'm. By the way, I think Epstein was obviously a fucking monster, and he deserved much. He deserved much more punishment than what he got. But what I do think is that they exaggerate the people that were involved in it. People are like, "Oh, Armin, you think Epstein's was not doing these to children?" No, he was. But what I do think people exaggerated is all the people, like everybody, all the names of different powerful people and politicians that were included. I think that was an exaggeration. I think it was mostly just him, and everybody that was working for him were bringing children to him. It was him that was the monster. I think a lot of people were just, their names were unjustifiably included, and people were accused. President Trump, for example, was accused. And so many people think President Trump was involved with, Epstein, and that's nonsense. If you actually look at the Epstein files, it shows that he was actually working with the FBI against Epstein. We got another super chat. Thank you so much. Saying, Armin, there could be 5D chess right now. France. Oh my God. Just announced they're gonna veto any sanctions relief for the Islamic Republic until no ballistic missiles. Okay, but what's the 5D chess move here? Is the 5D chess move to show that, to say to the world that France has more balls than United States? Like that's embarrassing. Like what's exactly the 5D chess move here? I mean, I don't know if that looks good. That looks like somebody could look at that and be like, okay, so United States in the position that they're more willing to capitulate to Islamic Republic more than France. What is the 5D chess move here? I'm not seeing it. Maybe tell me. I'm gonna learn from you guys. What's the 5D? Is the 5D chess move like, hey, we tried, but we can't because of France? Okay, maybe that's the 5D chess move. The 5D chess move is like, hey, look at this Islamic Republic. We tried, but we can't because you pissed off so many countries that we can't do. We're trying our best. Okay, but this is the best is. Yeah, I mean, guys, here's the thing. We already knew that sanction. So, guys, there's two sanction reliefs, right? So the United States. Okay, let's actually talk about sanction relief really fast. There's two sanctions relief that the United States is promising the Islamic Republic for good behavior. And by United States, we're talking about the Trump administration. One is U.S. sanction relief, and the other one is UN sanction relief. The problem with this is that neither of these are up to the White House. So President Trump is, the White House is offering something to the Islamic Republic for good behavior that the White House cannot give to the Islamic Republic, because U.S. sanction relief needs to come from Congress, right? UN sanction relief needs to come from the UN. And not even France agrees with that. Not even France. So the UN sanction relief seems impossible unless the Islamic Republic gives up everything. And the US sanction relief seems, yeah, I mean, okay, I see the 5D chess plan. Okay, let's steelman the White House. Good super chat. Good super chat. Here's a 5D chess plan for you. Let's get our foot in the door with an MOU that looks really good for the Islamic Republic. But it's just a fucking MOU. Who gives a shit? It's not a deal. But once we get our foot in the door and we have our guy, Ghalibaf, the inside man within the Islamic Republic, to weaken the IRGC and the supreme leadership, once we get there, then we slowly come up with excuses for asking for more and more and more. Because I know, as the White House, I know that I cannot give them sanction relief. It's not up to me. But because my hands are tied, I could be like, hey, Islamic Republic, I'm really trying to work with you, but I need to have a Congress here that I need to make happy. So you need to give me more. You need to give me missile range, right? So we get the MOU by saying, hey, Islamic Republic gets to have missiles. They have complete right to. They have the complete right to have their own missiles. Why not? Every country gets to have one, right? And then we get our foot in the door with the MOU, but hey, look, We said the nice things that we were supposed to say about you, Islamic Republic, by saying that you should, yeah, of course you should, of course you should have the missiles. You should have all the missiles that you want. But hey, you get that, I get that. But I have a Congress to do what they don't have our connection, okay? They don't get us. It's insane to expect you to give up your missiles. But my hands are tied, okay? Look, France is your friend. Even France is telling us that we cannot have sanctions removal until you give up your missiles. And my Congress also is pushing me on that. So we already came this far, so let's keep going, right? So there you go. That's the best steel man that I could give right now for the White House. Was it good? So people are saying Armin Macron is a trap that Trump has said. Yeah, that's what I'm basically saying. I got it? Okay, yes. Okay. There we go. Guys, we figured out we figured out what the 5D chess plan here is. Unless it's not, okay? If it's not, then forget it. But if it is, we figured it out. Either way, we're going to take credit for it. For figuring it out. Ding, 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 ding. Somebody saying, yeah, we got it. Okay. Let me go. I gotta go, so let me go through the super chats fast. Oh, wait, first this one. Saying Shabbat Shalom to fellow Jews worldwide, free run. Well, thank you. Oh my God, look at this. The Israeli-Iranian bond is real. And thank you, John, for supporting both Israel and Iran. By the way, Great Red Menace, pretty good super chat, you know? Very good super chat. That was really good to consider. Made me think. Debbie with a super chat saying, Armin, please say if you have heard of Mario Nafal. I think if I see these people's faces, I will know who you're talking about. Because I'm not good with names. Yeah, I think somebody told me about this guy a while ago, but I forgot. He gets a lot of reach, and his guests are big people. Maybe he would interview you. Well, guys, if the thing is that I have no time to chase after people because I chase after people to interview, and sometimes it doesn't produce any result, and it will become a waste of my time. But I would love to interview these people, and if you could reach out to them and tell them to reach out to me, so I don't have to chase them. So if you follow my X account at Armin Navabi, my email is there. Okay, you know what? How about I just make sure that I follow him on X. Let me see. Do I already follow him? Yeah, I already follow him. So I already follow him on X, so he could also follow message me on X. So just tell him, just reach out to these people and tell them that I would be a good person. Because if I go to them and tell them, hey, interview me, they will ignore you. But if they hear their own audience tell them to interview somebody, then they take it more seriously. And thank you, by the way, for you guys trying to get me into different places. Anyways, let's go to we need to finish the super chats quick. Say it. Thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate your support. John is saying the popes promote open borders and lethal vax. Okay, I don't know which vaccinations do they promote. I am for vaccines, by the way. I don't know if that makes me evil, as long as they are scientifically proven to work. Okay. Does that make me like John? Does that make me evil or something? Based on your understanding of things? Oh my God! I just lost a fan. John was my fan until 5 seconds ago. But I do agree that popes promote open borders, and that's retarded. The pope is promoting open borders, and that's retarded. Okay, John was a fan of me until half a second ago. Just lost John. Bye, John. It was nice when you have. He's never gonna be. He's like, why did I support this guy? Yes. All right. Fleshy interloper with the super chat saying, it is the what Maduro play, but more complex. Yeah, I do think like they're trying to do the Maduro play, but a lot more complex. True. And thank you for the super chat. And Debbie with the final super chat saying, "Yes, appreciate the deep detail. You are mentioned on other podcasts as knowing your stuff." Really? Oh, right, guys. People are mentioning me. People are mentioning me on other podcasts. They're like, "Oh, this guy knows his stuff. This is good." Thank you, Debbie. Thank you for that. Okay, now you boosted my confidence. You boosted my confidence. This is good. It's good that more people are paying attention to what is being said here, because I think that the information I have access to, more people should know about them. So it's good that it's getting heard. You be famous, Herman. Thank you. Anyways, guys, I gotta go. I'm late for getting ready for the next show. So, guys, we're gonna go live again right here on this channel, Liberty Politics YouTube channel, in 20 minutes. 20 minutes. So stay tuned, subscribe, and hit the bell notification and all of that. So when we go live, you see us live, okay? And we're gonna go live multiple. We're gonna go live 3 more times today. So just make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you know when we're live. All right, guys. As always, I'm Israel Chai, Slava Ukrainian, Cuba Libre, Long Live America, Javicha, Payande, Iran. Mwah. See you guys soon.